they're watching us. Don't make
Are you not here to find out if I'm into women? Who sent you?
I think there is a misunderstanding.
Everyone in Seoul knows one thing. If Mr. Han doesn't like you, he doesn't ruin your business. He ruins your life. Rich men thinks he is gay and send handsome boys to his dark VIP room, blindfolded. No phones. No names. No second chances. But Tomi is not a boy. She's a broke Nigerian girl who needs 1,000,000 won before her sister dies. So she flattens her chest, cuts her hair, walks into Mr. Han's room blindfolded, ready to risk her body for one secret video of his face. But when he tears off her blindfold and finds the hidden camera, he doesn't call security. He presses his lips to her throat, leaves a mark she can't hide, and says, "Next time you try to sell yourself, I'll be the one to buy you." Days later, she's paid to seduce a useless, crippled Heir in a wheelchair. She opens his door and recognizes the same voice, Mr. Han, the devil of Seoul, the helpless Heir, the same man, between hospital bills, family sins, and a ring filled with ashes. She has to choose: run from the monster that ruined her parents, or fall for the only man who is ready to burn his whole world to protect her. Hey guys, welcome back to Moonlit Stories, where we bring you juicy and amazing tales straight from the heart. Now grab a glass of wine, sit back, and let's give you some juicy gist. Don't forget to tell us where you are watching from in the comment, hit like, subscribe, and join the circle, because here at Moonlit Stories, every story begins with you. Tomi wiped the sweat from her face and checked the time on her phone for the 5th time that day. Another shift done. Another small envelope of cash that could not even touch Kemi's hospital bill. She counted it quickly in the corner of the tiny staff room. Rent, food, transport, hospital. By the time she removed everything in her head, what was left was almost nothing. Her phone buzzed. Hospital. Please remember to pay the outstanding balance for patient Kemi Okafor within 3 days. 3 days. Tomi's chest tightened. She shoved the phone into her bag and walked out to the street, mind already running. She had already tried extra shifts. Cleaning, serving, translating for the few Nigerians she knew in Seoul. Nothing was enough. Tomi. She turned. Jinsu leaned against a wall nearby, hands in his pockets, watching her. "Appa, I told you no more funny jobs," she said. "Last time police almost came." He smiled a little. "Last time was small thing. This one is big. And clean. No police." "I'm not doing escort work," she cut in. "It's not escort," he said. "Just acting." She frowned. "Acting how?" He stepped closer and lowered his voice. "Have you heard of Mr. Han?" Tomi shook her head. "He is a chaebol. Big CEO. Very rich. Very dangerous. People say if he doesn't like you, your business closes the next month." He searched her face. "They also say he only likes men." Tomi's eyebrows rose. "And how is that my business?" "Rich people send handsome guys to his private room," Jinsu continued. "Nobody sees his face. Room is always dark. People wear blindfold. No phones allowed." "So?" Tomi asked, even though she was now curious. "One client wants proof. Just one clear video of Mr. Han's face. If you go and dress like a boy, blindfolded, and somehow record his face, you get 1,000,000 won." Tomi stared at him. 1,000,000? Yes. She thought of Kemi lying on that hospital bed, smiling like everything was fine. She thought of the message, 3 days. "It's dangerous, right?" Tomi asked quietly. Jinsu shrugged. "Everything about Mr. Han is dangerous. But you are slim. You can pass as a pretty boy. He won't notice." Tomi swallowed hard. "No other way. No other money. No other time." "Fine," she said at last. "Tell me what I have to do." Jinsu did not waste time. "The client booked tonight," he said. "You go now." That same night, Tomi sat in front of a small mirror in Jinsu's cramped office, watching her own face change. He tied her hair flat under a cap, brushed her brows, and drew a slim line along her jaw with dark powder. "You look like a teenage boy," he said, pleased. "Slim, sharp, a little pretty. Perfect." He threw a loose black shirt over her head, then a jacket. The trousers were straight and simple. Everything hid her curves. Tomi stared at herself. If she did not look too long, she could believe it too. "How will I record him?" she asked. Jinsu took out a tiny camera, no bigger than a button. "We pin it here," he said, fixing it on her collar. "You will wear a blindfold, but the camera will see. Just turn your body when you feel his face is close. And my phone. Already connected. When you come out, I take the file, send to client, you get money. He paused, looking at her reflection. Tomi, once you go inside, there is no crying. No panic. If he finds out, I cannot help you. I know, she said. But her hands still trembled a little as she followed him out. The club was loud in the hallway, but the corridor leading to the VIP rooms was quiet. A man in a black suit waited for them. This is the new one, Jin-soo said in Korean. The man looked Tomi up and down, then tied a black cloth over her eyes. From here, you cannot touch your face, he said. You walk straight. You speak only when he speaks to you. Understand? Tomi nodded. Her world went dark. They led her a few steps forward. A door opened. The air changed, the noise outside cut off. The door closed. Silence. She heard soft footsteps. Slow, unhurried. Then a voice, low and calm, close enough to curl around her ears. You're late. Tomi's heart jumped. This voice, steady, cool, with that kind of quiet power that did not need to shout. I'm sorry, she forced out, keeping her tone flat, deep. Boyish. He did not answer at once. Instead, he moved. She could sense it. The faint rustle of fabric. The soft shift of air. Then fingers brushed her jaw. Tomi froze. The hand moved up, slow, almost lazy, tracing the line of her face. Thumb at her cheekbone. Knuckle along her ear. Too smooth, the man said softly. Too careful. He tugged the blindfold down without warning. Her eyes blinked fast at the dim light. She saw only him very close. Sharp features. Dark eyes that did not show much emotion, but missed nothing. No smile. No anger. Just control. Who sent you? He asked. Tomi's mouth went dry. I just came to serve. His hand closed gently around her chin. Don't lie. You came to see my face. Her heart pounded so hard she felt it in her throat. He watched her like he was reading a file. So, he murmured, leaning in, his breath warm against her neck. You dress like a boy, wear a blindfold, and hide a camera on your collar. Her stomach flipped. She had not told anyone where the camera was. His fingers slid to her throat. For 1 second she thought he would squeeze. Instead, he pressed his lips there. Soft. Too soft for someone this dangerous. He let his teeth scrape lightly, just enough to leave a mark. Tomi bit her lip to stop a sound. He pulled back, eyes steady on hers. You're shaking, he said. Afraid? Yes, she whispered before she could stop herself. He released her chin and straightened. Good. Fear keeps people alive. He pulled the tiny device from her collar and held it up. You're not very good at this. He walked to a table, took out a slim envelope, and came back. He placed it in her hand. There is 2,000,001 inside, he said. One for the client's job you failed. One for your stupidity. Tomi stared at him, confused. You're not angry? She asked softly. He looked at her for a long moment. I am not kind, he said. But you are too brave for someone who is nothing. Next time, use that courage for something else. He nodded to the door. Leave. Don't come back here again, Tomi Okafor. She hadn't given him her full name. Her fingers tightened around the envelope as she walked out on shaky legs, heart racing. She should have felt only relief. Instead, the sound of his calm voice followed her, and the ghost of his lips on her throat burned like a secret she could not explain. The next morning, Tomi paid part of the bill with shaking hands. The cashier printed another paper and slid it across the counter. This is the balance, the woman said. If you don't clear most of it this week, the doctor may stop some treatments. Tomi looked at the new figure. The 2 million from Mr. Han was like a small drop now. After rent, food, old debts, everything still looked impossible. She thanked the woman and walked slowly down the hospital corridor. Through the glass, she saw Kemi sitting up on the bed, watching a drama on the small TV with the volume low. Kemi turned and grinned when she saw her. Sis, you're here, Kemi said. The nurse gave me jelly today. I saved half for you. Tomi forced a smile and sat beside her, pretending not to see the dark circles under Kemi's eyes. I'm okay, Kemi said. Doctor said if we pay for the next treatment, I will get stronger. See? Easy. Easy. Tomi touched her hair. Just rest, okay? Don't worry about money. That one is my own walla. She stayed until Kemi fell asleep. Then she stepped out, closed the door gently, and let her shoulders drop. Tomi. She turned. Jin-soo was sitting on the plastic chair near the emergency exit, one leg bouncing, eyes on his phone. You again, Tomi said. I already told you, I don't want. I know what you don't want, he cut in. But I also know what you need. He lifted his eyes to hers. You got the hospital bill, right? Tommy's jaw tightened. It's my business. It becomes my business, he said calmly, when I have a job that pays 5 million won. That number made her heart skip. What kind of job? He gestured for her to sit. She stayed standing. Client this time is a woman, he said. Rich girl. From a well-known family. Name is Seo Jina. And she is engaged to a young master from the Han family. The one in a wheelchair. People in Chabel Circle call him useless. Useless? Tomi repeated, frowning. Yes. Disabled, quiet. Mother doesn't like him, brother wants his place. But the family forced this engagement for business. Tomi crossed her arms. So why does this Jina need you? She doesn't want to marry him, Jinsu said. She wants a way out that her parents cannot block. Scandal is the easiest way. He looked at Tomi directly. She wants you to seduce him. Get close. Get caught. Let the family see both of you together in bed or something close enough. Engagement breaks. Everybody cries. She walks away free. Tomi stared at him, speechless. You want me to break somebody's life because one rich girl is scared? She asked quietly. She is scared and spoiled, Jinsu said with a shrug. But the pay is real. 5 million won, Tomi. Enough for Kemi's treatment and more. Tomi's throat felt dry. Who is this disabled heir? She asked. Han family's second son, he said. Name is Han Minho. Always in wheelchair. You probably won't even see him stand. The name hit something inside her chest, but she did not know why. She swallowed it down. How do I do it? She forced herself to ask. Jina's people will send you into his room at a party, he explained. You just need to be alone with him long enough. Act close. Let clothes look messy. Someone will accidentally open the door. Camera, shouting scandal. After that, the engagement is finished. Tomi looked down at her hands. Playing with Mr. Han had already almost cost her life. Now they wanted her to play with another Han, even if this one was useless. Through the glass, she could see Kemi again, curled up on the bed, hugging a pillow. Tomi, think, Jinsu said softly. Without this money, what happens to your sister? 5 million. Kemi's smile. Some stranger in a wheelchair. Tomi closed her eyes for a second, then opened them. Fine, she said. I'll do it. Good. Jinsu stood up. Get ready. The party is this weekend. The Han family party came faster than Tomi expected. 1 minute she was standing beside Kemi's bed, promising she would come back with good news. The next, she was in a borrowed dress in front of a tall building in Seoul, staring at the entrance. Remember, Seo Jina whispered beside her, face hidden behind a light mask. You are just a friend's guest. My cousin will lead you to the wrong room. After that, use your brain. Tomi nodded. Jina's cousin, a slim guy in a suit, smiled at Tomi without warmth and took her arm. Just follow me and don't talk, he said. They walked through long corridors and turned corners until Tomi lost count. Laughter and music floated from different doors. Her heart beat fast, but not from excitement. Finally, the cousin stopped in front of a quiet door. This is it, he said. Young master's waiting room. I'll say I made a mistake later. You have some minutes. Use them well. He opened the door without knocking and gently pushed Tomi inside. The room was empty of noise. Only one person sat near the center. A young man in a wheelchair. He wore simple black trousers and a white shirt. No tie. No flashy watch. His hair was neat, his posture relaxed. His eyes, when they rose to Tomi, were calm and clear. Not a boy. Not old either. Just a man who had already seen too much. Tomi swallowed and closed the door behind her. Sorry, she said in Korean. I think I entered the wrong room. He watched her for a few seconds. You're not a guest, he said quietly. His voice was familiar somehow, but softer than the one in the club. Less cold. Tomi forced a light smile. Then who am I? He glanced at her dress, her shoes, the small bag in her hand. His eyes were not rude, just sharp. You are nervous, he said. Your hands are shaking. You are thinking of money. Tomi's fingers tightened around the bag. Maybe I'm just shy, she tried. Shy people don't enter strange rooms alone, he replied. He turned the wheelchair a little so he faced her directly. My name is Han Minho, he said. I am the one everyone calls useless. So, who sent you, miss? Tomi, she said before she could stop herself. He repeated it slowly. Tomi. Something in the way he said her name made her chest feel too tight. He did not raise his voice. He did not call security. He just looked at her and waited. The lie sat on her tongue. She could say she was lost. She could say she was looking for the bathroom. But Kemi's face flashed in her mind. I need money, Tomi said at last. My sister is in the hospital. A rich woman doesn't want to marry you. She paid for me to come here and cause trouble, so her parents will cancel the engagement. There. Everything on the table. Minho's expression did not change much. Maybe his eyes got a little darker. So honest, he said. Gina sent you then. Tommy's mouth parted. You know her? I know their style, he said. Use people, throw them away after. He pushed the wheelchair a bit closer. Not too much. Just enough that she could see the small scar near his jaw. You agreed, he added. So what does that say about you? Tomi raised her chin. It says I'm desperate. For a long moment, they just looked at each other. No shouting. No fake smiles. Just two people standing on different sides of the same word, desperate. Minho lifted his hand slightly, like he wanted to touch her face. His fingers stopped halfway, hovering near her cheek. Tomi did not step back. His hand stayed there, caught between wanting and refusing, then slowly dropped back to the armrest. You're not the first person to use me to run away from this family, he said. But you are the first to tell me the truth to my face. He let out a low breath. I won't help Gina, he said. If she wants to run, she should face her own parents. Not hide behind you. Tomi bit her lip. So what now? Now you leave, he said. If someone finds you here, you will lose more than you gain. He turned the chair slightly away, giving her space. Tomi, he added without looking back, go back to your sister. Don't sell yourself this way again. Her chest hurt in a way that had nothing to do with fear. She nodded, even though he could not see it, and quietly slipped out of the room, carrying his voice with her. Tommy's hand was already on the door handle when a voice cut through the quiet. There you are. She opened the door and almost walked straight into Gina's cousin and two older relatives. They blocked the way like they had been waiting. Tommy's heart dropped. This was not part of what she and Minho had just agreed. The cousin's smile was tight. Wrong room, right? Then why so long? Before she could answer, he pushed the door wide again. Uncle, Auntie, I think you should see this. They moved aside, guiding Tomi back into the room like a piece on a board. Minho had turned his wheelchair slightly toward the window, but his eyes moved to the door at once. They took in Tomi, the cousin, then the older faces behind. What are you doing? He asked quietly. Tomi, stand closer, the cousin whispered in English, grabbing her elbow. She tried to pull away. Let go. He shoved her forward. She stumbled and fell against the side of Minho's chair. Her hand landed on his shoulder to steady herself. The moment froze. Then more people poured in. Madame Han, sharp eyes and tight lips. Mr. and Mrs. Seo, Gina's parents. And behind them, Seo Gina herself, face pale but carefully arranged. Silence lasted half a second. Then the whispers started. What is this? Mrs. Seo gasped. Minho SSI. Tomi, Madame Han said slowly, looking at her from head to toe. Who is this girl? The cousin spoke fast. We were looking for the young master. We opened the door and saw them, like this. Alone. Eyes dropped to Tommy's hand still on Minho's shoulder. Tomi snatched it away, face burning. It's not what you think, she said quickly. I came here by mistake. I was just. Shut up, Madame Han snapped. Foreign girl like you, sneaking into my son's room? Do you think this is a hostel? Her finger stabbed the air in Tommy's direction. Dirty, she said. You come all the way from your country to spoil this house? The words cut deeper than Tomi expected. She turned to Mrs. Seo. I was leaving. I swear. I didn't touch. Mrs. Seo stepped back as if the air around Tomi was stained. You brought a woman into your room on your engagement day? She said to Minho. And not even a proper Korean girl? How cheap can you be? Tommy's throat closed. She looked at Minho, hoping he would speak. He stared at the floor, jaw tight. Someone scoffed. Useless boy can't even sit straight. Now he is bringing women like this into the house. Enough, Gina said suddenly. Everyone turned to her. She pressed a hand to her chest and let her eyes fill with tears. I'm sorry, father, mother, she whispered. I tried. I told you I didn't want this marriage. Look at him. Look at this. She flicked a glance at Tomi. I can't marry someone like this. Gina, Mrs. Seo began. No, Gina said louder. I can't. I want to cancel the engagement. Today. The room erupted. You can't just cancel. This is shameful. What about the contract? Through all the noise, Madame Han's voice cut clear. You think you can cancel like that? She snapped at Gina. This girl is nothing. Just one dirty foreigner. You want to throw away a Han marriage because of her? Then she turned on Tomi again. You, she spit out. Look what you did. Because of you, my son looks even more useless. You are nothing. You are. Her words blurred in Tommy's ears. Shame pressed on her chest like a weight. She tried once more. I didn't come to seduce him, she said, voice shaking. I told him why I was here. I told him I needed money for my sister. I was leaving. Who cares? Someone said. Look at you. Look at him. What else can it be? Tomi felt small. Cheap. Exactly what they called her. She took a step back, ready to say she would leave and never come back. Take the blame. Free everyone. A hand closed around her wrist. Firm. Warm. She turned. Han Minho looked up, eyes no longer quiet. Something hard and clear had settled there. He pulled her gently but surely to his side, so she stood right next to his wheelchair. If you all want to shout, he said, voice calm but sharp, then shout at me. Minho, let go of that girl, Madame Han ordered. He did not move. You called her dirty. You called her nothing, he went on. Then let me correct it. The room went silent. He lifted their joined hands slightly. Don't call her girl, he said. Call her what she is now. His gaze swept over both families. My fiancée. The word hit the room like a slap. Mrs. Seo choked. What? Madame Han whispered. Tommy's heart slammed against her ribs. She stared at him. What are you saying? She hissed under her breath. This is madness, Mrs. Seo shouted. Our daughter. Your daughter already said she wants to cancel, Minho replied, still calm. Fine. I accept. But the Han family will not stand here and pretend this woman is nothing. He looked at his mother. You want to save face, mother? He asked. Then accept it. I choose her. Madame Han's eyes flashed. For a moment, it looked like she would explode. Then she saw the number of eyes watching. Family. Staff. Business partners. Her lips pressed into a thin line. Fine, she said slowly. If this is how you want to shame me, Han Minho, then enjoy it. She turned to Tomi, eyes like knives. Welcome to the Han family, fiancé, she said, each word heavy with poison. Tommy's head spun. This was not the plan. This was not any plan. But Minho's hand around her wrist was steady. Fake, she told herself. He is only acting to control the mess. Still, her heart would not listen. It beat like someone had just spoken a truth her mind wasn't ready to accept. The guests left slowly. The whispers did not. Even after the last person walked out, Tomi could still hear the words in her head. Dirty. Foreign. Useless. She stood beside Minho's wheelchair, her wrist still inside his hand. You can let go now, she said quietly. He released her at once. She stepped back. Why did you say that? Fiancé? Are you trying to destroy my life completely? He looked at her, calm again. If I left you alone, he answered, they would have thrown you out of this house with nothing. Maybe even blamed you for everything. This way, they at least have to feed you before they insult you. That's not funny, she said. It's not a joke, he replied. It's a contract. She frowned. What contract? I need a shield in this house, he said. Someone who is not afraid to look me in the eye. You need money for your sister. So we help each other. He waited, then added, Tomi, move into this house. Live as my fiancé in front of them. In private, we sign our own rules. I'll take care of Kemi's bills. When everything is stable, you are free to go. Her heart squeezed at Kemi's name. No romance, she said quickly. The corner of his mouth almost moved. You think I'm planning love story in this place? She almost smiled. Almost. Fine, she said. We write it down. 2 days later, Tomi stood at the gate of the Han house with one small suitcase. Madame Han walked past her without a greeting. The guest room is full, she said. You will stay in Minho's room. That is what you wanted, right? Tomi opened her mouth to protest but closed it again. The staff were watching. Inside, Minho sat at his desk, wheelchair turned to face the door. He held out a simple piece of paper. Contract, it said at the top in English and Korean. Rule 1. Tomi will act as fiancé in public. Rule 2. Han Minho will pay Kemi's hospital expenses and basic needs. Rule 3. No physical relationship is required. Rule 4. When Kemi is stable and the house matter ends, Tomi can leave. Do you agree? He asked. Tomi read it again, then signed her name. He signed beside hers. Welcome, Miss Contract Fiancée, he said dryly. She rolled her eyes, but her chest felt lighter. Days in the Han house were quiet on the surface, sharp underneath. At breakfast, Madame Han spoke to everyone except Tomi. When she did use her name, it was like a stone. So, Tomi, Madame Han said one morning, can you use chopsticks? Or are they too difficult for you? I can manage, Tomi replied, picking up food with steady hands. Across the table, Han Jun smirked. Hyung, you really went abroad to find fiancé? Minho did not answer. He simply took Tommy's empty glass and refilled it like it was the most normal thing. That small act burned June more than any insult. At night, things were different. Tomi helped Minho with his medication, placing the tablets in his palm. You know I can take medicine by myself, he said. I know, she replied. Just keep quiet and swallow. He snorted softly and obeyed. Sometimes she forgot the wheelchair and talked to him like someone in a small shared apartment. He gave her short, dry answers that still made her smile when she was alone. One evening, he drove her to the hospital himself. He handled the adapted car like he had done it 1,000 times. They argued all the way there about Kdramas and Nigerian food. When they parked in the basement and she was about to step out, he stopped her. Seat belt, he said. It's already off, she answered. Not mine. I need my hands free. Lean close. She leaned over to unbuckle his belt. The space between them shrank. Her hand brushed his chest. His face was right there, eyes watching her calmly, mouth only a breath away. She smelled his cologne, faint but clean. For 1 second, the world outside the car did not exist. Her fingers fumbled with the buckle. Click. They both froze, still close. Then at the same time, they pulled back, faces turned away. Thank you, he said, voice low. No problem, she replied, suddenly very interested in her shoes. They walked into the hospital side by side, pretending nothing had happened, each one aware of how aware they were of the other. One afternoon, she was walking down the long upstairs hallway, checking a message from the hospital. The doctor wanted to talk about Kemi's next stage of treatment. She turned a corner and almost slammed into Han Jun. He stepped into her path, blocking the way. Easy, he said, smiling. No need to rush. House won't run away. Tomi slid her phone into her pocket. Excuse me. I need to go downstairs. He rested one hand on the wall, leaning in just enough to make it clear she could not pass. I've been watching you, he said in low Korean. You put medicine in Hyung's hand like small nurse. Very caring. She frowned. He's my fiancé. Of course I take care of him. June snorted. Fiancé, he repeated. You think I don't know this is a joke? Foreign girl like you, useless cripple like him. Both of you are playing a game. His eyes dragged over her dress in a way that made her skin crawl. You can drop the act with me, he went on. If you want real upgrade in this house, you should stand on the side that can walk. He reached for her arm. Tomi jerked back. Don't touch me. Why not, he said. You are already eating our food. At least give small service in return. His fingers brushed her wrist. Let her go. The voice came from behind June. Calm. Flat. Dangerous. June stiffened. He turned. Han Minho sat in his wheelchair at the end of the hallway, one hand on the wheel, the other resting loose on his lap. His expression was almost bored, but there was something in his eyes that made the air feel tight. Hyung, we were just talking, June said quickly. You're so tense. You should relax. Your fiancé is very friendly. Is that why you're blocking her path? Minho asked. Move. A housemaid passing by froze. When Minho repeated, move, she rushed to the side automatically, bowing even though he wasn't talking to her. June's jaw clenched. I'm older than you, he snapped. Don't talk to me like I'm your staff. Minho's voice went even softer. Then stop acting worse than my staff. For a second, no one breathed. A butler appeared at the other end of the hall, saw the scene, and immediately bowed toward Minho. Young master, do you need help? He asked. Take my brother to the study, Minho said without looking away from June. He is bored. Mother likes bored sons who stay where she can see them. Yes, sir. The sir landed heavy. The butler stepped toward June, hand out. June slapped it away, but he still moved. He gave Tomi one last dirty look and walked off, shoulders stiff. Only when he turned the corner did Tomi feel her muscles relax. She looked at Minho. Thank you, she said quietly. He wheeled closer, stopping just in front of her. Don't thank me, he said. I wasn't being kind. You stopped him, she replied. That's kind enough. His eyes flashed. You are under my name, he said, each word clear. Of course I will not let him touch you. The possessive tone slipped out before he could soften it. Tommy's heartbeat jumped. I didn't ask you to mark me like property, she said, heat rising in her voice. You were the one who dragged me into this with that fiancé talk. And you signed the contract, he shot back. You take my money, live in my room, use my name at the hospital. But when I protect you, suddenly it's a problem. They were close now, faces only a little distance apart. It's a problem when you act like I belong to you, she said. His jaw tightened. You don't belong to me, he said slowly. But if they think you do, they will think twice before dragging you around this house like a toy. She opened her mouth to reply, then closed it. The anger between them shifted into something else. Her breath mixed with his. His eyes dropped for a second to her mouth, then back up. For one hot moment, it felt like they were both leaning in, like all the noise of the house had gone far away. Tommy's hand lifted a little, as if to touch his shoulder. He turned his chair an inch to the side. She dropped her hand. They both looked away. Next time, he said, voice calm again, don't walk around this house alone when June is in a bad mood. Next time, she replied, trying to steady her voice, tell your brother to learn manners. Neither of them mentioned how close they had just been. They moved in opposite directions down the hall, pretending the heat between them was nothing but another fight. After that hallway scene, the house felt different. Tomi found herself listening for footsteps, for wheels, for Han Jun's laughter, for Minho's voice. She avoided June as much as she could. He avoided her too, but every time their eyes met, there was something ugly there. Not just anger, wounded pride. Minho, on the other hand, acted like nothing had happened. At dinner, he ate slowly, spoke when he had to, and ignored June's stares. When Tomi refilled his glass, he nodded once in thanks, nothing more. But small things started to bother her. His hands. They were strong, steady, when he lifted himself from the wheelchair to the bed. Once, she saw him shift from chair to sofa with almost no help, arms taking most of his weight. His legs. They were not thin or weak like Kdramas showed disabled characters. The muscles under his trousers looked normal, even firm, like someone who did some kind of quiet training. One evening, she walked in just as he was transferring from the chair to the bed. He pushed himself up easily, arms flexing. For a second, his feet seemed to take some of the weight before he dropped onto the mattress. You're staring, he said without looking at her. Maybe I'm just impressed, she shot back. For someone they call useless, you move very well. His lips twitched. Maybe I'm just good at pretending. Her chest tightened at that word. Pretending. Later that week, she woke up in the middle of the night thirsty. The house was quiet. No staff voices, no June's music. Just soft hums from far away. On her way back from the kitchen, she passed by the open doorway of the room she now shared with Minho. The lights were off, but a faint glow came from inside. She frowned. He hadn't told her he was awake. Without thinking too much, she pushed the door open. Min. The word died. He was standing, one hand on the bed frame, the other slightly stretched out for balance, feet flat on the floor. No wheelchair. For a second, both of them froze. His eyes widened. The calm mask dropped. Pure shock crossed his face, then anger, then something like fear. Tomi, he said, voice low. Get out. She didn't move. You can stand, she whispered. All this time, he shifted his weight. The hand on the frame slipped a little. He wobbled. Before she could think, she rushed forward and grabbed him. Her arms went around his waist. His body leaned into hers. His hand shot out and landed on her shoulder. For one long heartbeat, they were pressed together. She felt the solid lines of his body, the heat of his skin under the thin shirt, the wild, fast beat of his heart matching hers. He was not fragile. He was not weak. Tomi, he said again, but this time it sounded less like a warning and more like a plea. She looked up at him from that close distance. Sit, she murmured. Before you fall. They moved together. She guided him carefully back until he sat on the edge of the bed. Her hand stayed on his arms longer than necessary. He pulled away first. His face closed up, eyes going hard. You shouldn't have seen that, he said. You left the door open, she replied softly. You were the one pretending. He reached for the wheelchair, dragging it closer with one hand. This stays between us, he said. No one else can know. Not June. Not Mother. Not the staff. Why? She demanded. Why fake it? Why let them call you useless if you can stand? His jaw clenched. Because being useless keeps me alive, he said. Because the moment they know I can move, they will find a new way to use me. Or break me properly. She shook her head. That doesn't make sense. It makes sense in this house, he snapped. The sharp tone cut her, but it also made something else clear. He was scared. Not of standing. Of them. She took a slow breath. Fine. I won't tell anyone. He studied her face, as if searching for a crack. Swear, he said quietly. I swear, she replied. On Kemi's head. His shoulders dropped a little. He believed that. Silence settled again. She looked at his legs, then back at his eyes. Who are you really, Minho? She asked. The useless son in the wheelchair? Or the man who can stand but chooses not to? For a second, his mask slipped. He looked at her like he wanted to open everything, like he wanted to say all the words he had swallowed for years. Then he shut it down. I'm just someone trying to survive, he said. That's all you need to know. He turned the wheelchair fully and slid into it again, putting the barrier back between them. Tomi watched him, heart heavy. She had felt his strength with her own hands. Now she was watching him pretend to be weak again, and for the first time, she was not sure which version of him scared her more. The broken one everyone saw, or the hidden one that only she had touched. After that night, Tomi saw everything with new eyes. Whenever Minho slid from the wheelchair to the bed, she watched his muscles work. Whenever he let his legs drag, she remembered how solid they had felt in her arms. He went back to acting helpless in front of everyone else. She went back to pretending she believed it. The staff, however, had their own stories. One afternoon in the kitchen, as Tomi helped a maid wash fruit, 2 junior staff whispered near the fridge. Did you hear? One said. The chairman of JS Group came yesterday. He didn't even meet Madam. He went straight to talk to that hidden CEO. Which one? The other asked. The one they call Mr. Han? Yes, the first replied. No one knows his face. Only some directors and bodyguards. They say if Mr. Han rejects your project, you can close your company. Tommy's hand paused under the tap. Mr. Han. The name sat heavy in her stomach. She rinsed the last apple and left the kitchen. As she passed the study, she heard Minho's voice through the slightly open door. Not the lazy, soft tone he used at home. Sharp. Precise. If they cannot deliver the numbers, pull out, he said in Korean. I don't care who their father is. We don't carry dead weight. The hair on Tommy's neck rose. It was the same voice from the club that night. Calm, cold, sure. She stepped closer, heart hammering. I said no press yet, he continued into the phone. The deals go through me first. Tell them Mr. Han is not interested in drama, only results. Mr. Han. It hit fully this time. She clapped a hand over her mouth, backing away before he could see her shadow. 3 nights later, the answer came. Tomi was returning from the hospital late. A housemaid hurried past her in the corridor. Young master went out? Tomi asked casually. The maid nodded. Yes. Late meeting. Special car from the side gate. Only driver park and 1 guard. Side gate. Tommy's chest tightened. She went upstairs, waited 10 minutes, then slipped back down, keeping to the shadows. From a window near the side of the house, she saw a black car rolling out slowly. Driver park at the wheel. No wheelchair in view. Without thinking, she ran outside, grabbed a cheap taxi at the corner, and told the driver, follow that black car. The ride was quiet. Her fingers twisted in her lap. The taxi stopped a short distance from a tall office building in another district. From her seat, she watched the black car pull up to a private entrance. The door opened. Han Minho stepped out. No wheelchair. He wore a dark, fitted suit, white shirt, no tie. He stood straight, not a hint of weakness in his steps. 2 men in suits bowed low. Mr. Han, one of them greeted. Tommy's breath caught. He didn't correct them. He adjusted his cuff, said something too low for her to hear, then walked inside like he owned the ground he stepped on. Hidden CEO. Useless heir. Same man. Tomi sank back into the taxi seat, a storm in her chest. Betrayal burned in one corner. Pride burned in another. He had lied. But he had also built all of this under the same roof where they called him useless. The driver glanced at her in the mirror. Agassi, are we going back? Yes, she said quietly. Back. He came home close to midnight. Tomi waited in the room they shared, sitting on the edge of the bed, hands clasped. The door opened. He rolled in on the wheelchair, like always. Long day, she asked. He froze for half a second, then closed the door behind him. You're awake, he said. She stood. Mr. Han, she said. Should I bow too? His eyes narrowed. Who told you that name? I heard the staff talk, she replied. I heard your voice on the phone. I followed your car. The words dropped between them like small stones. Silence stretched. Finally, he sighed and let his hands fall from the wheels. Yes, he said. I am Mr. Han. Tomi laughed once, without humor. So in this house, you sit in a chair and let them call you useless. Outside, you stand and make CEOs bow. He watched her closely. Are you angry because I lied, or because you didn't see it earlier? I'm angry because I thought we were at least honest with each other, she said, voice low. You made me swear to keep your secret, but you never gave me the full picture. He rolled closer, stopping a breath away. I did not lie because I don't trust you, he said quietly. I lied because this house is a cage. The weaker they think I am, the less careful they are. That is how I survive. He leaned in slightly. With you, he added. I have already shown more than I ever show anyone. Her eyes stung. She refused to let the tears fall. So I'm what? She asked. Your private witness? Your part-time fiancé? Your project? His gaze dropped to her mouth, then back up. You are the only one who has seen both sides, he said. The boy who pretends he cannot stand, and the man who runs this city. The heat between them rose again. She felt herself sway a little toward him, drawn by the honesty in his eyes. Then she caught herself, took one step back. Good for you, Mr. Han, she said, forcing her voice steady. Keep your cage games. Just remember, I didn't ask to be dragged into them. She turned away before he could see the tears finally slip free. Behind her, his wheelchair did not move. Tomi, he said softly. She didn't answer. For the first time, he was the one left reaching forward, while she was the one walking away. Tomi avoided him the next day. She left the room early, went to the hospital alone, stayed longer than usual with Kemi, and came back when she thought he would be busy in the study. But the house was strange when she returned. Quiet. Heavy. When she opened the bedroom door, Han Minho was already inside, chair turned away from the window, facing her. We need to talk, he said. I'm tired, she replied, stepping in. Maybe another time. You're not tired, he said. You're angry. She laughed without humor. So what if I am? He studied her for a moment, then nodded toward the small sofa. Sit, Tomi. She almost refused. Then she remembered the contract, the bills, the fact that no matter how angry she was, their lives were tied together now. She sat. He did not start with Mr. Han or the wheelchair. My father died when I was 6, he said slowly. On the rooftop of this house. Tomi looked at him, startled. He fought with my older brother, Minho continued. Voices were loud. I went up to see them. Father stood near the edge. June was shouting. Mother was crying. Then, he swallowed. Then father fell, he said. Just like that. No railing. No time. He hit the ground before I could even scream. Tommy's fingers curled into her skirt. I told them what I saw, he said. I said June pushed him. They said I was confused. I was a child. They called it an accident. Family matter. No police. No case. Just a funeral and silence. He looked at his own hands, opening and closing them. That day, something broke in this house, he said. And something broke in me. Mother blamed me after. Said if I had stayed quiet, things would be easier. So I learned to stay quiet. To act weak. To let them think I was nothing. Tommy's voice came out softer than she planned. You were just a child. He lifted his eyes to hers. He reached into the side drawer instead. I wanted to tell you this sooner, he said. But there is something else you must see first. He took out a thin file and placed it on the table between them. Okafor Trading. Fraud investigation. Seoul. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. Pages. Reports. Stamps. And over, one name at the top of the Korean side. Han Group. Attached at the back was a printed email with an electronic signature. Han Soyun. Madam Han. Tommy's blood ran cold. This is the case that destroyed your parents' company, Minho said quietly. Mother's people framed them to cover another mistake. They pushed your family to the edge. Tomi stood up so fast the file slid to the floor. Why are you showing me this now? She demanded. To say sorry? To make it look romantic? Oh, your parents died because of my family, but I liked you since we were kids. Tomi. She shoved his shoulder. You knew, she said, voice shaking. Maybe not everything, but you knew enough. You sat there and watched me beg for work, beg for money, while your mother's name was on the papers that killed my parents. Pain flickered in his eyes. I only found these documents recently, he said. I was still confirming. Liar, she snapped. You and your secrets. Your wheelchair secrets. Your CEO secrets. Your sad child stories. I don't care. He reached for her wrist. She pulled away. Don't touch me, she said. Not with those hands. Not with that name. Tomi. You saved your own leg for me, she said, tears finally spilling. But you couldn't save my parents from your family. She turned and walked to the door. From today, she choked out, keep your double life to yourself. She stepped out before he could answer, leaving the file open on the floor, his confession hanging in the room with no one left to hear it. Tomi did not sleep that night. She sat on the small couch in the corner of the room, knees pulled to her chest, staring at nothing. The file lay on the table where she had dropped it, papers half out of the folder like a mouth left open. Minho stayed on his side of the room, in the dark. He did not try to speak again. Morning came. The house moved on. Madame Han gave orders. Han-jun shouted at staff. The world pretended nothing had changed. But something had. In the afternoon, Jin-soo called. I've been digging, he said quietly when Tomi met him outside the hospital. Your parents' case. The Han Company. There is one more thing. I don't want to hear more stories, Tomi said. This one is useful, he insisted. About Minho's father. He told her about a rumor. A rich woman who loved a man so much she had his ashes turned into jewelry so he could stay with her forever. She wears a ring and a necklace every day, Jin-soo said. Never takes them off. People say she is crazy about them. Sound like anyone you know. Tomi did not answer. She already knew the image. Madame Han at breakfast, fingers always playing with the same ring. The necklace that never left her neck. Minho is not stupid, Jin-soo added. He must also suspect. If you want the truth about what that woman did to your family, this is your chance. That night, Tomi walked back into the shared room and put the file on the bed in front of Minho. I still hate you, she said, voice flat. But I hate your mother more. He looked up slowly. I want the truth, she continued. About my parents. About your father. About everything. If you think her jewelry has anything to do with your father's ashes, let's prove it. His hand clenched on the blanket. You'll help, he asked. I'm not helping you, she said. I'm helping myself. It just happens we want the same thing. A long silence passed. Fine, he said at last. We do it together. The next day, Madame Han called for a family meeting in the main sitting room. Some board members were present, along with a lawyer and the butler. This nonsense about police and lawyers ends today, she announced. We will solve our matters inside. Tomi stood near the wall at first, hands folded, body tense. Minho rolled in and stopped beside her. She felt the heat of him, even without touching. Mother, he said calmly. I asked the lawyer and the board here today for one reason. I want to clear father's name. Your father is gone, she snapped. Why open old wounds? Because you never closed them, he replied. Only covered them. His eyes dropped to her hand. Take off your ring, he said. The room went still. What did you say? She asked. Your ring, he repeated. And the necklace. Take them off. A nervous laugh went around the room. You are joking, she said. These are mine. Those are father, he said. Or what is left of him. The lawyer shifted. Mrs. Han, if there is nothing to hide, please just remove them. We can put this to rest. She stared at them like they had lost their minds. How dare you, she hissed. You all stand there accusing me because of what? A crippled boy's fantasy? Tomi stepped forward before she could stop herself. Then prove him wrong, she said. Take them off. Let us see. Madame Han's eyes snapped to her. You, she said. You and your cursed family. You think you can talk in my house? Tomi held her gaze. Her palms were sweating, but she did not look away. For once, she answered, your house should hear the truth. The lawyer moved between them. Madam, he said. Please. With a sharp, angry motion, Madame Han yanked off the ring and necklace and slapped them onto the table. Test them, she spat. Then apologize to me when nothing is wrong. The lawyer's team worked quickly, taking small samples, whispering low. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, one of them turned to the room. There are ashes mixed into the material, he said quietly. Human ashes. And traces matched the sample from the late Chairman Han's urn. Silence. Then everything exploded. You fools. Madame Han screamed. He was mine. He loved me. I kept him with me. Who are you to judge? Her face twisted, years of control breaking all at once. Tomi watched her and felt something cold settle in her stomach. This was the woman who broke her parents, who crushed a whole family, and then wore another man's ashes like decoration. This was the heart behind the papers that ruined the Okafors. Beside her, Minho's hand shook slightly on the wheel. He looked at Tomi, eyes raw, no mask left. For a moment he seemed completely open, empty of all the fake weakness, just a son grieving and furious. Tomi swallowed and looked away. But this time, she did not move away from his side. The house did not sleep after the test. Board members whispered in corners. Lawyers made calls. Madame Han locked herself in her room and threw things. Everyone heard the crashes. Han Jun disappeared. By morning, the news had already reached some reporters. Words like illegal, ashes, secret jewelry started to circle online. Tomi went straight to the hospital. Kemi tried to act normal, but she had heard things from nurses too. Is it true? Kemi asked. The family you're staying with, are they in trouble? Tomi smiled weakly. They've always been in trouble. Now the world just knows. She stayed until Kemi fell asleep, then stepped out to talk to the doctor. When she came back, the bed was empty. For a second, her brain refused to understand. The blanket was thrown aside. The pillow was on the floor. A nurse ran past the door. We can't find the patient. Someone said 2 men in suits. Tomi bolted for the stairs. She didn't make it far. An arm wrapped around her from behind, a hand covering her mouth. Don't shout, a voice hissed in her ear. Or your sister stops breathing today. Her blood went cold. They dragged her down a service exit and shoved her into a van. Kemi was already inside, crying, hands tied. Tomi, she sobbed. I tried to fight. It's okay, Tomi said, pulling her close as much as the ropes allowed. It's okay. I'm here. The door slammed. The van started moving. Han Jun turned around from the front seat, eyes wild. Because of you, he said. Mother is being treated like a criminal. Because of you, Hyung thinks he can stand above us. Let's see how brave he is when he has to choose. Back at the Han house, Minho listened to the security report in silence. CCTV shows Jun's car near the hospital, the guard said. We traced the van. They're heading toward the old warehouse at the docks. Prepare the car, Minho said, already standing. Young master, the wheelchair. No chair, he snapped. Call my outside team. Tell them Mr. Han is moving. Within minutes, he was in a black car, phone pressed to his ear, voice cold as he gave orders. No more pretending. The warehouse smelled of oil and dust. Tomi and Kemi were tied to 2 chairs back to back. Jun paced in front of them, holding a metal pipe. When Hyung comes, Jun muttered, he will sign everything over. Company shares power. Or I break both of you in front of him. Tomi stared at him. You think he cares more about money than people? Jun's lips twisted. He pretends to. That's why this will hurt. The door burst open before she could reply. Men in black suits flooded in, fast, efficient. And in front of them, Han Minho. No wheelchair. Dark clothes. Sure steps. His eyes found Jun first, then Tomi, then Kemi. Let them go, he said. Jun laughed. Look who finally decided to walk properly. He grabbed Kemi's hair, yanking her head back. She cried out. Sign the transfer papers I sent you, Jun said. Or I start with her. Minho lifted his phone, showed the screen. I already blocked every transfer you tried. The board has your recordings. You have nothing left to trade. Jun's face went red. He swung the pipe. The room exploded into motion. Bodyguards moved. Jun tried to reach Tomi. One guard intercepted him. Another cut the ropes around Tomi and Kemi. Take them out, Minho ordered. A car engine roared outside. Someone panicked. A driver hit the gas too hard. The van at the entrance shot forward, smashing into the side of the building. Debris fell. The shock threw everyone sideways. Tomi hit the ground, ears ringing. When the dust cleared, she saw Minho on one knee, blood running from a cut at his temple. Minho, she shouted. She crawled to him, ignoring the pain in her own legs and arms, and grabbed his shoulders. Hey, he muttered, trying to stand again. I'm fine. Fine, she cried. You're bleeding everywhere, you idiot. His men were already moving Jun, already calling emergency services. Listen to me, he said, gripping her arms. His fingers were warm and strong. They will take you and Kemi to a safe place. You don't argue. You don't come back here. Understand? No, she said, tears spilling. I'm not leaving you here. Not with him. Not with them. He wiped a streak of blood from his eye and actually smiled just a little. You're shouting at me, he said. So you're okay. She shook him. Don't joke now, Minho. Don't you dare die on me. Not after everything. His face softened. I'm not planning to die, he said. I still have too many people to punish. His men reached them. Young master, we need to move you. He looked at Tomi one last time, eyes deeper than any word he could say. Take Tomi and Kemi first, he ordered. If anything happens, they go out, not me. Minho. His hand slipped from her arm as the guards pulled her back. She fought them, reaching for him, but they were stronger. Kemi clung to her, crying. As they dragged her toward the exit, she twisted around and shouted over the noise, voice breaking. Han Minho, if you die, I will never forgive you. He watched them go, bleeding but standing, and for the first time, she knew exactly how much of herself she had already given to this man who lived between weakness and power. The warehouse crash did not kill anyone, but it killed every lie left in the Han family. Police cars came. Reporters followed. Someone leaked the story. Hidden deals, illegal threats, missing ashes, a fake useless son who could walk and fight. Within days, the news was everywhere. Han Group's second son, secret CEO? Mother and eldest son suspected of fraud, kidnapping, and evidence tampering. Who is the Nigerian woman seen beside Mr. Han? Tomi watched it all from a safe apartment that Minho's team arranged for her and Kemi. She turned off the TV, but the world did not stop. She visited Kemi's room. Her sister was recovering faster now. The new treatment, paid without delay, was working. Everyone is talking about your fiancé, Kemi said, eyes bright. They say he shocked the whole city. He shocked me first, Tomi muttered. Kemi smiled, then sobered. He almost died for us, sis, she said quietly. Don't pretend you don't care. Tomi opened her mouth to argue, then closed it. She cared. That was the problem. The court days were long. Tomi did not attend all of them, but the ones she did were enough. She watched Madame Han sit in the dock, hair neat, face cold, as lawyers listed her crimes. Illegal pressure on smaller companies, hiding evidence, turning her husband's ashes into jewelry, covering for Han Jun. Jun sat beside her, restless, jaw tight, eyes darting around like a trapped animal. When the judge read the sentences, the room was silent. Madame Han, years in prison, heavy fines, lifetime ban from managing any company. Han Jun, prison time for kidnapping, attempted harm, and fraud. They were led away. Madame Han did not look back at her son. She looked at Tomi instead, eyes full of hate, like she could burn her alive with one stare. Tomi held that gaze and did not flinch. Outside, reporters shouted questions. Miss Okafor, do you forgive the Han family? Is your engagement still on? Tomi said nothing. She just walked past, Kemi's hand in hers. A week later, Minho asked her to meet him at a small office in one of his buildings. No cameras. No staff except Choi-bai. On the desk were stacked documents and a laptop. What is this? Tomi asked, standing in the doorway. Paperwork, he said. The kind that fixes broken things. He gestured to the chair opposite his. She sat. He turned the laptop to face her. On the screen, several accounts were open. This, he said, pointing to the first, is a fund in Kemi's name. It will cover her medical treatment, school, and living costs. Until she decides she never wants to see another hospital again. Tomi's heart squeezed. Minho, this is too much. It's not enough, he cut in. But it is a start. He clicked to another file. And this is a fund for families like yours, he said. Small businesses crushed by people like my mother. It will not bring anyone back, but it can stop someone from falling as hard as you did. She stared at the numbers. They didn't look real. And this, he continued, sliding a set of share certificates across the table, is 10% of Han Group's shares in your name. You can sell them, keep them, throw them in the river. It's your choice. Her hands stayed on her lap. What are you doing? She whispered. Trying to buy my forgiveness? He shook his head. If money could buy forgiveness, he said, my mother would be free right now. This is not payment. It's correction. He opened a drawer and took out a slim black card. My salary card, he said simply. From now on, anything I earn passes through you first. You see everything. No hidden accounts, no secret companies. If you want to cut me off one day, you can. He placed the card in front of her and did not push it closer. From now on, he said quietly, my life is open. No more secrets. Not from you. She looked at the card, then at his face. He was not smiling. He looked almost scared. And if I walk away? She asked. If I take all this and leave Seoul, leave this house? His jaw flexed once. Then that is the consequence I accept, he said. I dragged you into this world. I hurt you with my delays and my lies. If you want to leave me after all this, I will not stop you." The words cut deeper than any angry shout. He was giving her the knife and turning his chest toward it. Silence stretched between them. "You're really letting me decide?" she asked. "Yes. Even if I decide I never want to see you again?" His eyes dropped to the table, then back up. "Even then," he said, "because for once you deserve to have a choice that no rich family can touch." Her throat tightened. Anger still burned in a corner of her heart. Anger for her parents, for the years of struggle, for every lie he had wrapped around himself. But his honesty now, laid out on the table in numbers and paper and one simple card, cracked something in her defenses. She reached out slowly and picked up the card. It felt heavier than it looked. "I don't forgive you," she said. "Not yet." He nodded like he expected that. "But I'm not leaving," she added, voice low. "Not yet." Their eyes met. For the first time, the power between them did not feel like cage bars, but like a door she could choose to open or close in her own time. One cool evening, Kemi fell asleep early on the small bed in the next room, a book still open on her chest. Tomi gently removed it, covered her with a blanket, and closed the door halfway. The living room was quiet. Just one old sofa, a small table, and the sound of traffic from outside. She turned and stopped. Han Minho was standing there. No wheelchair. No suit. Just a simple black hoodie and jeans. Barefoot. For the first time, he looked like any young man in Seoul coming home after a long day. No mask. No Mr. Han. No useless son. Just Minho. "You should knock," she said, crossing her arms, but her heart had already started to race. "I did," he replied. "You didn't hear. So I used my key." She forgot sometimes that he still paid the rent here. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "Another fund to sign? Another apology?" He shook his head. "Today is not about business," he said. "Or debts." His voice was calm, but his eyes were too serious. He stepped closer, then stopped at a small distance, as if remembering all the times he had pushed and pulled her before. "Tomi," he said softly, "I have had two lives. The cripple in the wheelchair. The shadow CEO. Both were lies I used to survive." "I know," she murmured. "You broke both," he said. "You saw me standing when I tried to hide. You called me out when I hid behind Mr. Han. You held me up in that warehouse and dragged my secrets into the light." He took a slow breath. "And yet," he added, "you are still here." Before she could answer, he did something she had never seen him do in front of anyone. He dropped to one knee. "Tomi," she started, eyes wide. He pulled a small ring box from his pocket and opened it. The ring was simple, a plain band with one small stone that caught the light. "Tomi Okafor," he said, looking up at her, no shield in his voice. "I lied. I hid. I failed to protect your parents. I cannot change the past. I cannot remove the pain I helped add to your life." Her eyes filled at once. "But if you let me," he continued, "I will spend the rest of my life protecting you and Kemi with my real name, not a fake one. No more wheelchair masks. No more Mr. Han. Just Han Minho. One name. One life. With you if you want it." A tear rolled down her cheek. "You're late," she whispered. "I know," he said. "But I am here." She hit his shoulder with the side of her fist. Not hard. Just enough. "I hate you," she choked. "I hate that you made me fall in love with you through kidnapping, ashes, and court cases." He winced playfully. "My methods were terrible." "They were," she agreed, wiping her face. "But you still got what you wanted." He blinked. "Does that mean?" "Stand up," she said. His heart almost stopped. "Stand up, Minho." He rose slowly to his feet. She grabbed his hoodie, pulled him closer, and kissed him. It wasn't soft at first. It was angry and grateful and scared and relieved. Years of pain and months of tension poured into one long, shaking kiss. When they finally broke apart, she rested her forehead on his. "No more running," she whispered. "No more double life. From today, you are just my stubborn Korean husband, do you hear?" He laughed, the sound low and full, arms wrapping around her like he had been waiting his whole life to do it properly. "I begged you to like me from the start," he said. "Now that you've agreed, I'm never letting go." In the small living room in Seoul, with Kemi sleeping in the next room and the city lights blinking outside, the useless heir and the ruined girl chose each other. Not as contracts, not as shields, but as one life shared. Thank you so much for staying with us till the very end of this story. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear the lessons you learned and your thoughts on how we can continue improving to give you the very best. Here at Munlet Stories, every tale is crafted with passion, care, and dedication. Our mission is simple: to entertain, inspire, and connect us all across cultures and hearts. So, keep the conversation alive in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Till next time, we are Munlet Stories, bringing you amazing tales that touch hearts and spark imaginations. Stay blessed. Stay inspired. See you in the next story.